What can we expect from the Jenna Charlton show in 2022?
I can't wait for you guys to see the new show on my channel. I'm actually trying to get into more serious things.
Okay.
You know, you guys are going to see a different side of me.
The only messed up thing is that when I started walking, my dad died. Right? And then that happened, and then it was hectic, and then the words that he said to me would always resonate.
How did the cancer affect your creative self as a musician? He threw the best leg. For me, it was a shock. Like, it came as a shock, and I don't think I felt the physical pain. It was more emotional because it was shocking that how can somebody that we are in love, we are vibing, why are they hitting me? I think somehow he blamed me for the loss of the baby, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know, at the time, it's...
So what type of psoriasis do you have?
I have trunk and scalp psoriasis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you explain to our viewers a little bit about that?
Scalp psoriasis is just white patches that develop on your head.
One on my neck by the artery, and 2 by the kidneys, and 1 massive one on the belly.
Yeah.
So this was the most extensive one.
So when did you first start seeing changes in your skin?
Cool. I knew you were gonna ask that. Because honestly, I get bored. Right? Seeing kids sing and stuff, he decided to run the baby. You know, I spent the whole year 2021 years. And then you've got the voice.
Yeah.
You've got the voice, and you've got to twist away a bit. You've got to twist away.
My fasa differ around my feet. I hated that moment. Hey, it was so intense. Oh, how to laugh him. Well, people usually used to say that Uchelabasu and whatnot. Well, I don't know that. But in that moment,
despite my mental health issues, I wouldn't know you, Jen. I wouldn't have had this life. So people were surprised. They were like, wouldn't you want to meet your biological mom? I'm like, hell yeah. But for one reason, to say thank you, fam.
So I think now we should go into where you were diagnosed with ADHD. Did you know what it was the time you were diagnosed? Did you have any idea what ADHD was?
Well, when I was first diagnosed, it wasn't even called that. I was just...
Try to think about this. Kimo, kishwana le bana ba 40 ba Basotho. Ba batla mo nkhabata. But nna di batla go tshireletsa gore ba se ke ba itse tsola pele ka ntse ntse ba etsa because ba senya.
Good day, everybody. Katleho Tsola, also known as Katleho. You're about to watch my episode on Live to Tell the Tale. I struggled with cancer, a brain tumor called a geminoma, and a spinal tumor. And in the episode, I talk about my experiences at the hospital, my encounters with radiation and chemotherapy. And I just want to encourage anybody who is going through that struggle to watch and get my experience with cancer, and just to encourage anybody who's had a family member or a friend, or they themselves are going through cancer, to watch the episode and see how my experience went. And I just hope that this episode gives you light on the disease and my journey on it. Thank you so much, and I hope you really enjoy. Have a good day.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenna Charlton for those who do not know me. And for my day ones, welcome back and thank you for your love and your support. Look, if you're not subscribed yet, why are you not subscribed? Click on the subscribe button. It's somewhere down here. So make sure you do that. This is Live to Tell the Tale. Now, a journey with spinal cord cancer and a brain tumor, Lesotho's hip-hop artist is in remission and recovery and is joining us today. Katleho Tsola, popularly known as Katleho. Hello, Malumbe.
Hey.
What's up? That's what you call
it. For the baby.
You see?
You know.
How are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm awesome. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I'm sure my guests will be happy to see you here.
I know.
Not my guests, my viewers as well. It's the wine. Yeah. But yeah, I want you to take us a little bit back. You know, take us back to childhood memories. How was growing up like for you?
I was born in 1990, 27 January, and by a single father. My mom passed when I was 3 months old. And okay, obviously like the first couple of years is just a blur.
Yeah.
But like I think my first memories are like when I was 7. When I was 7, my dad took me to Sobandla, who is the Prince of Swaziland. I lived with him, and me and my brother, Katleho Tsola, did our primary school, a bit of that in Swaziland, and then we were at Tanzania English Medium as well, and then we moved to Klegsdorp, where I went to Brothers College, and then from Brothers College I went to Pretoria, Loreto Queenswood, and then from Loreto Queenswood I came to Stilfontein, which is Pinnacle. I was in boarding school, by the way, like most of the time, so that's basically my schooling. And then my high school, I went to Calculus College, which is in Kronstadt, and
that's a lot of moving.
Yeah, that is a lot of moving. Like when they say my father was a rolling stone, my father was literally a rolling stone. So I've lived in like a lot of places. I've lived in Viljoenskroon. You probably don't even know where that is. I've lived in Klegsdorp. I've lived in Pretoria. I've lived in Centurion. I've lived in Johannesburg. Yeah.
How was that for you, like moving to different places?
It's always great. Like my relationship with my father was amazing. Like he was, like as much as like there was always that empty space where you want to feel the feeling of having a mom.
Yeah.
I think my dad was like the mom and the dad figure in one, because he was not too masculine, but he was also not feminine as well. Like he was just the right balance. Yeah.
Okay.
So
and then there's your love for music. Did that come from your dad or? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be every single part of my father. Like
what age did that start?
Like from as small as I can remember. Like from as little, like even my aunts. Like when they tell me about the stories when I was little, I always loved music and I always loved singing, and it was always just like I was like my dad's biggest fan. So, yeah. So I've always loved music.
That's great. So I believe you are a hip hop artist, right?
Yes.
So how did you want to go into hip hop more than like your dad's like type of
music? Me and my journey with hip hop was an influence from my older brother.
Okay.
My older brother started, who is like an Afro pop singer now, but like he started off as a rap artist, right? And I just fell in love with it. Like as soon as he like put me into like hip hop, I just fell in love with it. I think I was 11 years old when I started writing my first raps, And then I never really wanted to become an artist. I just wanted to write something that would impress my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So after that, I just became better and better and better, and I just fell in love with it.
Do you remember the first lyrics you wrote?
Do I? No. No, I don't.
You did.
I did.
All right. So what was life like before your diagnosis?
Yeah, it was great, eh? Because I was actually pursuing going to do sound engineering. I always wanted to do something to do with music, because I went through a long time not knowing what I want to do after matric. So I started making music after matric, and like the whole idea of like tertiary was like becoming obsolete until somebody told me like, yo, you can do like sound engineering, and that's something to do with music. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then I spoke to my dad about it, and he was like, oh man, that's great, because he was trying to start a studio on the Makaya, and I was like, okay, cool, that would be dope to have like something for young artists, but also to have a place to go when they want to, take a journey with music. Yeah, and yeah, that's basically what it is. But I didn't get to finish because of that.
Yeah. So I want you to take us into that moment. Like, what was going on until, like, medically? How were you when you like went to the doctor and then you found out that, oh, I have cancer? How was that?
So my journey with cancer started, I think, late 2020. Late 2020, I started having, like, I used to faint a lot. Like out of nowhere. Like I'd be having a conversation like we're having now.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I just faint. And I didn't know what was going on with me. My aunt didn't know. My dad didn't know what was going on. So we just shrugged it off for like a bit. Yeah. But then my aunt was like very adamant on me moving back to TY. Because we used to live in Maseru, and then I moved to TY. And she was like, no, let me just take care of him to see what's going on. And then my doctor, TY, he's a very good doctor, but he misdiagnosed me because my symptoms were unusual, you know? So I used to, I'd faint, and as an avid smoker then, I don't smoke anymore now, but every time I'd have a cigarette, I'd faint after one. And I only realized that after a while, which is a bad sign, you know? Yeah. So I only realized after a while. And then I'd have a cigarette, and then I'd go into the kitchen. That was the first time my aunt was like, yo, this is really serious. And then I just had a cigarette, and then I moved to the kitchen. And then I was having a conversation with my aunt, and then I just fainted in the middle of saying something. And then she took me to the hospital where I met my doctor, Dr. Mchuchoko. And Dr. Mchuchoko didn't know it was cancer, but he thought I was going through some sort of depression, which I was at the time, but that wasn't the reason for what was happening. Yeah. So the reason for me fainting was because there was water filling up in my brain, right? Okay. Because of the brain tumor. And every time it would get to the brim, I would faint. Hence why I have this big ball on my head that's to drain the water from my brain. Okay. And goes to my bladder and it just comes out. That's it. So how they found out I had cancer was I was the cancer cell was sitting on my optic nerve. So I was going blind basically. So as I was going blind, my uncle decided, you know what, let me take it to the optometrist and see what's going on. And then that's how I found out I had cancer. Because
so how long after, like, you know, having to faint after a cigarette, when did you start, like, your eyesight fading and stuff?
My eyesight was fading, like, literally, like, because, like, the fainting started, like, I think 2020, what was September. And then September, October, November, I went to the optometrist, right? Early November.
Yeah.
And then my optometrist was like, I see the problem with his eyes, but I don't think it's anything to do with his optics. I think it's something to do with the brain. And then he wrote cancer with a question mark on my papers. And then as soon as that happened, there was another doctor of mine who was like, okay, fine, if they think it's cancer, we need to take them to Bloemfontein University, right? So, end of November, we drive to Bloemfontein University. We get there, I do a couple of tests here and there, and then they find that I have cancer, right? Brain cancer. And
In the moment when they told you you have brain cancer, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, because of the cancer, I couldn't be scared because my natural self wasn't naturally myself. You know? I was just like going with the vibes. I was like, oh, okay, I have cancer, so what do we do now?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I only started realizing that, like, yo, dude, you have cancer once I did, like, my surgeries. Because then my brain started coming back too. But, like, before then, my brain was just, like, it was an autopilot. Like, like, I didn't know what I was doing or what. I just have, like, very vivid memories. The only memory I have that's very clear was when I got to Universitas and me and my nurse, I don't know what we were arguing about, but like my brain was still very messed up because of the cancer, right? Yeah. So my thought process wasn't normal. I wasn't talking the same way. I would like just talk gibberish out of nowhere. Yeah. And she was like trying to talk to me, and I was just like I was angry for no apparent reason, and then they like tied me to the bed. That's like the one memory that I always have. I was like, why the hell am I tied to the bed? So like that was a very messed up experience for me. But then once I came to, I understood why they did that, because basically get a little. So, and then I did my first surgery. I went for 2 surgeries. The first surgery was to really drain the water from my brain. So what they did at the first time is they put a pipe in my head. And then it wasn't inside like it is now. That was the second one. The first one, they did it so that the bag was outside my head. So in the bag. And then I would carry the bag. And then whenever the water would fill up, it would just fill up in the bag. And then I would empty the bag. And then I don't remember what was going on with my doctors, but we had an argument, and I was just like, I'm tired of carrying this bag, and I pulled it. Which was a very bad idea. But like when you're going through like a brain tumor, like I could have literally died that moment where I pulled it. And my doctor was like, no, it's this thing is gonna mess him up immediately. They took 2 days, and then I was back in theater again, and that's when they put it in my head so that it just goes out with my pee. So that's this pipe right here. Yeah. So it goes in here, and then it just goes out as pee. And then from there, they found out that I have a second tumor. I mean, but like it's a cancer on my spine.
Yeah.
And the reason I found out I had a cancer on my spine is because I was supposed to go to National Hospital where they deal with cancerous patients. Universitas is mostly for your surgeries and whatnot. So after I did my surgery for the brain thing, I was at my cousin's house in Bloemfontein, and we were just waiting to go to Universitas to treat.
So how long after like your surgery, got the brain tumor, did you find out about the spinal cord cancer? Because now you talk about how you were at your cousin's place. When were you discharged and stuff?
So both surgeries happened in December 2020.
Okay.
And at the end of the second one, it was close to New Year's. I think it was like the 26th, because I spent Christmas and thingy in hospital. And so I think around the 26th, and when I went to my cousin's, and then I went to my cousin's place because we were waiting to go to National Hospital where they would treat the brain cancer with radiation and chemo, because I hadn't done that yet. So when I got to my cousin's place, like I think 2-3 days passed. I was walking normally, and then one morning I was trying to go to the bathroom, and then I got off the bed and my legs weren't working. So I was paralyzed from the waist down. So like pee just started flowing out. Like I try to stand up, I can't stand up, my legs don't work. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then we called my dad. My dad came through with my uncle Mitzi, and they took me back to Universitas, and then I did a few tests. That's when I found out I had a spinal cancer. And so I was literally like on a wheelchair from January 2021. And then that's when I went to National Hospital, and then I started my chemo therapy. And then I think my chemo went, because chemo takes 3 days. You do chemo for 3 days, and then you go home for the rest of the month, and the next month you come back for your next 3 days of chemo. And then like so I did 3 months of chemo starting in January, and then after my 3 months of chemo I did 3 months of radiation on both my head and my spine. And after that I started to heal. Luckily, they were both found at a time where I was, able to heal.
So I started walking again, but like not properly. Like I started with crutches.
Yeah.
And then I started with like you know those things that grandmothers use.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. And then I started with that, and then I went for physiotherapy, and then I started, But I'm not fully like walking normally, but from where I'm from to where I am now, like it's
Progress.
Yeah, it's miraculous actually.
Yeah. So how was the healing journey for you?
The healing journey was dope because I had so much support from my friends and my family, and the only messed up thing is that when I started walking, my dad died. And that was like, like when you just go through like something really hectic, and you're like, because like that was the one person who supported me through the entire journey. Because anytime I would feel like depressed, or like I'm going through it like emotionally, I would just call him and he would say something like that would just like uplift me.
So also he's the closest person you have.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So and then that happened, and then it was hectic, and the words that he said to me like would always resonate with me, because he would like, yo dude, you're the strongest person I know. And for me, he's the strongest person I know. Like he's, amen. He's amazing. Yeah.
So how did the cancer affect your creative self as a musician?
Yeah, no. That like it was hard because creatively, like I used to be like even when I write music now, it's not the same. It's as much as I love it, and like but it's not the same. Like my thinking process is not the same. Like the difference that Schumer made is, I don't think I can go back to who I used to be.
Is it? So, like let's take that as a rebirth of Katleho.
Yeah, no, right? It definitely is, because I've tried, and even the things that I used to think were important aren't as important now. Like the things I find to be close to my heart is different. Like my relationship with God and Jesus, it's totally different than it was before. So that kind of changes my narrative in terms of writing music. And as a hip hop artist, like the content is different. So I always try to include my journey in the things that I write about, where before my content was really based on the influences you see on television and all those kind of things. And because I had too much time at National Hospital, where I was just sitting on my hospital bed and waiting for the docs to tell me what to do and how it's done, I had time to like go through like YouTube channels, and like if I survive, what am I gonna do after this? Like, am I still gonna be an artist? What do I do if I can't be an artist anymore? So, and my love for music wouldn't let me like
quit music. I would rather quit being an artist than being a producer. So, but like, it will always have something to do with music.
Yeah. Alright. So what do you hope for yourself for the future?
Ooh. I hope to be like an important anchor for people who might have cancer in this country, because one thing I learned in National Hospital is that Lesotho have cancer, but they don't know it, and they don't have the necessary medical attention to understand what is going on with them. So like, I would really love for like Lesotho to have like a cancer foundation or whatever, or like, you know, like those people who can like properly diagnose the type of things, because we don't have those machines. I realized like the only machines that find out what kind of cancer and where the cancer is are in Bloemfontein. And if the Lesotho doctor doesn't find out in time that whatever's bothering you is cancer, you might die.
Yeah.
So if Lesotho could have those kind of machines to diagnose those people, I think it would have
done a little something.
a little something.
Alright. Also, there's a beautiful project you did in tribute for your father, Son of a Legend.
Yeah.
The song you released.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. It's so special.
Do you know what's funny about Son of a Legend is that I didn't write it for his funeral.
Is it?
I wrote it for him while he was still alive.
Okay.
And I just wanted him to know, hey, dude, I love you. Right?
Yeah.
So, just like when I did the tattoo, I showed him.
Yeah.
And when he died, I was, because like I hadn't released it officially when he died.
Did he hear the song?
He did.
That's
He
awesome.
did.
Yeah.
He did. He was very happy about it. And yeah, we had a little moment. But then like, and then when he died, it was just a friend of his, because at his funeral, when they told me my dad was gone, because here's what happened. My aunt died in June, and on my aunt's funeral in June, and it was like, I think 3 weeks after I came back from hospital. And in my aunt's funeral, my dad came, and he was, I couldn't go because I had COVID, but the day of my aunt's funeral, my dad was admitted into hospital because of COVID complications, and I didn't know he was in hospital because I was under lockdown because of having COVID. And then a few days passed. Only to find out that my dad now. And then I think 2 days before he died, he calls me. He's like, hey man, how you doing? I'm like, I'm fine, man. Like, just get out of there.
Yes, come on.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And only to find out, like, that was just his way of saying, like, and 2 days later, he was gone.
but you have such a giant for an angel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Well, where people can stream the show on like digital platforms, right?
Which one?
Not the show, the song.
Oh, okay.
Legend,
Yes. I even have a link on my Twitter.
Okay.
At Katleho
I'll also put the link in my description box.
Oh yeah.
To make it easy for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
This was
so much
special.
for having me.
I almost cried.
Yeah.
Tears. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you love it, and do comment down below. Ta-ta for now.